Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today might be a little bit of a long one, but I am doing my predictions for NXT TakeOver, Stand and Deliver, and I'm also going to do my predictions for NXT UK Prelude. So we will start with NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, and the first match I have on my list is Toni Storm versus Zoe Stark. I believe this is a pre-show match. I think this is going to be Toni time. It's going to be Toni Storm winning. She's a hot star. She's really good actually. I really love Toni Storm. Wish she was doing a bit more. Kind of wanted to be champion. But yes, I think Toni Storm is going to pick up the win in that match. Next up we have Io Shirai versus Raquel Gonzalez. Now this is a little bit of a difficult one because Io Shirai feels like she's had that belt for a really long time. And Raquel Gonzalez has been on fire. Her match with Rhea Ripley is one that I remember very well. So I don't know whether they're going to pull the trigger on Raquel Gonzalez and switch the title. Oh, that's a tough one. I'm going to go with Gonzalez here. I think there's going to be a lot of title changes on this show. I think Io Shirai may be due a call up. She'll get ruined on the main roster. She'll get absolutely ruined, but I believe she's going to be moving up soon, so I think Raquel Gonzalez is going to pick up the win for that one. Next up, we have NXT Tag Team Championships, possibly my favourite belts in the promotion. MSK versus Grizzled Young Veterans versus Legado del Fantasma. I think this is between two here. I really think it's MSK or Grizzled Young Veterans who are going to pick up the win. And it's difficult because it was previously held by Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. They have to vacate it because of injury. So I don't know whether you're going to switch it to a babyface, because I feel like there's going to be very few babyface champions coming out of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. So that's why I'm going to go with MSK, I think, picking up the belts here. I think they are young, they are really promising young stars, and I think having them carry the belts throughout, this next sort of almost season of NXT would be really good. It'd be really good for the team, really good for the division as well. It's rebuilt itself since it was purged by the main roster. But yes, MSK to win the tag belts. Next up we have the 6-man, I do believe, yes, 6-man action between Leon Ruff, Isaiah Swerve Scott, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes, Dexter Lumis and LA Knight. Oh, this is another tough one. The stipulation of this match is that they move on to night 2 and they will face Johnny Gargano for the North American Championship. I don't think it's going to be Leon Ruff, as much as I like Leon Ruff. I don't think it's going to be Swerve. I think it's between the last 4. It's between Reed, Grimes, Lumis and Knight. Gargano's a heel. Oh, this is hard. I think it's going to be LA Knight. I think they're going to have a really good exhibition match on the next night. Spoiler, I don't think Knight will pick up the championship. However, LA Knight has recently debuted. I get you can protect him in a 6-man match, but I think now's the time to just pull that trigger, have that really good match that will sort of set his course for the rest of his time on NXT. Next up for night 1 we have Volta versus Tommaso Ciampa. This match could be match of the year. Straight up, it could just be match of the year. I'm so excited for this one. I think this is going to be banging. I don't think Ciampa's winning. I think Volta has to lose the belt on NXT UK to sort of give that show more prominence. I don't think they'd switch it here to Ciampa, but I think this match is going to be excellent. I think this is going to be crazy good. So yes, Volta to retain. And the final match that I have for night 1 here is Pete Dunne versus Kishida. Now, these are two of my favourite wrestlers. Pete Dunne's amazing. I have his heavyweight vinyl behind me. Kishida is amazing. I have his poster right to the side of me over there. So who do I think is going to win between these two? I think it will be Dunne, because Kishida's... Yeah, I think it's going to be Pete Dunne with Burch and Lorcan out. I think Dunne just needs to rebuild himself. Maybe he can vie in that North American Championship picture. or push himself back up to the main event. Sadly, I don't think it's going to be Kishida, as much as I'd love Kishida to win. I think Dunne's going to not retain, he's going to win. He's just going to win. Pete Dunne's going to win. So that is it for night 1. Shall we move on to night 2? I don't know which night I prefer, to be honest. Oh, probably night 2. Night 2 looks banging. Yeah, let's go with night 2. So night 2, we have the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. Ember Moon, Shotzi Blackheart versus The Way, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. This is another tough one, because I think Gargano, spoiler, is going to retain his championship. And I quite like the image of Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell having the tag championships. So I'm going to go with those, even though it hasn't been a long reign for Ember Moon and Shotzi Blackheart. I think LeRae and Hartwell could really benefit from the belts, and The Way as a stable could really benefit from having a lot of gold. Now that the Undisputed Era has sort of, disbanded, having another faction, a mixed gendered faction, having all the belts, that's a really interesting prospect. So I'm going to go with The Way to win the tag belts. Next up we have Jordan Devlin, NXT Cruiserweight Champion, against Santos Escobar. Escobar. Yeah, I'm good at this. Who is the interim NXT Cruiserweight Championship, of course, in a ladder match. Right. So this is a unification match. I think it's going to be Santos X. Why can't I say that? Santos Escobar. There we go. Who is going to win the championship here? I think Jordan Devlin will transition over to NXT UK more. I think he'll be vying in the Heritage Cup division, maybe the NXT Championship, NXT UK Championship division. I think this is going to be Santos Escobar reclaiming the belt and keeping it on NXT proper, if you want to call it that. So yes, Santos I'm not going to say the name anymore. Santos Escobar. There we go. Johnny Gargano versus the winner of the Gauntlet. I've already said my piece. I think Johnny Gargano is going to retain here. I don't think you should take the belt off him. I think he is doing incredible work as a heel, and I never thought I'd say that because he was such a good babyface. But yes, Johnny Gargano to retain his North American Championship. Next up, Adam Cole versus Kyle O'Reilly in an unsanctioned match. This match could be match of night 2. I do think. They are both phenomenal. The history between the two is incredibly rich. But I think this might follow a similar mould to Gargano Ciampa, in which... Oh no, that goes against. I think Adam Cole is going to win this first match between the two. The unsanctioned match. I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors, a lot of weapons and sequences that could be used to sort of derail O'Reilly. And I think Cole getting the heel win here against O'Reilly would work well in building that story further. So I think Adam Cole will beat Kyle O'Reilly in the unsanctioned match. And finally, for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, the main event of Finn Balor versus Karrion Kross. This match, not to say I'm down on it, but as you may know if you've watched before, I'm not a massive Finn Balor fan, sadly. I'm not massive on Karrion Kross either. I think he's got a good entrance, but other than that, I've never been shown anything that really, hits me hard, like, oh, that is who I want as NXT champion. But I do think it's going to be Kross. I think Kross is going to beat Balor here. Maybe even Balor can transition over to the main roster, because God knows they need some star power on Monday nights. Kross, he beat Keith Lee. He had that sort of reign there. But I think they're going to give him a proper run now. I think he's going to beat Balor. And we're going to have a new NXT champion. So I think there's going to be a lot of titles changing hands on this show, which is really exciting because there's nothing better than that, is there? Nothing better than a few title changes. But this looks like a stacked card. This looks insanely good. An insanely good night of wrestling. And, well, it's 2 nights. It's not just one night, it's 2 nights. So yeah, really hyped for NXT Takeover Stand and Deliver. So, shall we now talk about NXT UK Prelude, which of course airs on Thursday. I'm trying to work out if they're going to counter each other, because one's on Thursday night as well. But we have the first match of Mika Satomura and... Oh, I'm getting so confused. Miko Satomura, yes, and Millie McKenzie, I only call her Millie McKenzie, versus Isla Dawn, Kaylee Ray. I think this is going to be Amelia McKenzie and Mika Satomura winning. I think, Amelia McKenzie's just come back. We don't really want to take the momentum away from her. So I think them picking up a win, maybe by pinning Dawn, will get Amelia McKenzie in that NXT UK Women's title picture. Next up we have Heritage Cup #1 contenders match. We have Noam Dar versus Tyler Bate. This, I think, will be Noam Dar, because Noam Dar is doing the best work of his career in NXT UK. He's so funny, and he's really good in the ring. And I think him going against A-Kid for the Heritage Cup that just works. It just works really well, to be honest. And I don't think it's Tyler Bates' time to move into that picture. I think they'll have an amazing match, but I don't think Tyler Bate is the one to face A-Kid, personally. And finally, we have, sadly, I think if this match had come after Takeover, then I'd been more interested. But Rampage Brown versus Volta, I don't think Rampage Brown's going to win, is he? Because Volta's facing Ciampa. So it's obviously going to be Volta winning. It'll be a corking match. It'll be really, really exciting. However, I don't think Rampage stand any chance of dethroning Walter here. It's definitely going to be Walter winning and walking into Takeover with the title. So